So I am going to be doing a demonstration on how to make a chain. I got the Ktel vintage tool. They came out with this in the 60s, and there's still some online, made in the USA, obvious. And they also have another one that's similar to this called the Easy Looper, but this was patented back in the 60s by Mrs. Gruber, and so that was the first patent. And and so I'm going to do a demonstration just how to do the chain. So here is a stopper, and basically what that does is, depending on the position of this, it's probably about right at a half an inch, maybe a little bit more, and the lower that this will be, the looser your stitch. The closer up, the tighter your stitch. So maybe keep it not too tight when you're first working it, learning how to use this. So basically you come at the bottom, you're going to thread it right there, and you're going to go up and you're going to push it through this needle here. I might just want to twist that. I don't have a needle threader, but it's not necessary. You can use one, but these needles come in different sizes also. Okay, then I'm going to create my slip knot. The way I create my slip knot is I just make a ribbon, go over, and then under. Ta-da! Okay, so there's that. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take this, but this is where you determine the tightness of your stitch right here. So I have maybe about the same distance from here, maybe a little bit more, but this is where you want to be. This is where when you pull out after you loop over, that's going to be your consistency in your, actually, I'm close. I don't want that big of a slip knot on. Definitely don't want that big of a slip knot. Okay, pull that down. Start with a reasonable slip knot. Okay, so here we go. Make sure that you keep this to where I've got it turned. There. Now see, this is facing this way, this needle's facing this way. So you're just going to take this loop right here with about half an inch to an inch, whatever your preference is, but just as long as it's the same for each one. And you're going to go over, and then you're going to grab this one on the left and pull up. Ta-da! Your first chain. And make sure this is the same amount again. Go down and then pull up on the left string, this one here. It's that simple. Same amount, go back down. Same amount, go back down. Same amount, go back down. Pull on this side. Same amount, go back down. Same amount, go back down. And that's your chain. That's how you do a chain. I'm going to do a few more. Up, down, up. It's that simple, guys, ladies. Ta-da! Your first chain, which has got a pretty, not too loose, not too tight. Not too loose, not too tight. Ta-da! And that's all I'm going to show in this particular video. And then the next one, I'm going to show how you do rows and how you turn. And then the fun part is where you can literally, once you get a row, just to demonstrate, the really cool thing about this item is you cut in between the rows. You can cut in between the rows. Let's say you want to make a buttonhole or a neck hole or an armhole or whatever hole. You just cut in between the rows of stitches, and you pull the little straggles out of the thread, and it won't unravel. What coolness is that? I've already showed how to the introduction to this Ktel knitter. It's basically a crochet slash knitting tool. It's basically a craft of its own. It's got all kinds of stitches that you can do with it. And I'm going to be doing the simplicity stitch. So I've already done the basics. So basically I'm going to just show how to do a couple rows of stitching, how to turn it, and then showing how this I've already done. I literally cut a little hole, and you cut in between the rows. See this line here and then this line here? So you cut in between if you're going to make a cut, and which I did. So there are many stitches. This is from 1964 when this one was patented. I believe it was released in 1966. It was marketed. I'm going to do maybe 3 or 4 rows just to demonstrate how to turn this. So I start with your loop about so, and I have this set at right about 1/2 inch, and so I keep my finger down like that to kind of keep it from going back in, and then I'm going to grab this side, which is my left. Is probably mirrored looking at the camera, which would be this here, and you pull up. See how I released at the bottom? See how much I have right here? That's going to show, that's going to make the consistency of your stitch. And this stopper helps guide down so that you don't push down anymore. So then I'm going to go over. Ta-da! See where the stopper stops me from going down any further to help keep consistency with the stitch, and pull up. See how I push this down with this finger? And then you can do this to kind of keep it from going in and out, to keep it right there at that length. Then I push over, pull up, hold that after I've got my length that I want, push it down, pull that a little bit, pull up, hold it, push down, let it go. And see how I keep my thumb in it, pull it down just a little bit. And once you'll get the hang of it, keeping the consistency in your chain, because that's going to determine how well your piece or panel it is that you're going to be, crocheting. I don't know if to call this knitting or crocheting, because really it looks more like a crochet stitch when you look at the chain, because and another thing is to keep the chain from twisting as well. I'm going to show you this chain up close. So that looks like a crochet chain. You've got your dash and then your V, see? So I don't know why they call it a knitting tool, but there's so many different stitches. There's similarities to both craft actually. See, just make sure your stitches when you pull the same each time. See? Okay, so now I'm going to show how to turn. I think that's enough chain. I'm just going to demonstrate. I'm going to demonstrate how to turn. And see, currently this is on my left, but when you turn, okay, you want your work on the right. So once you create a stitch, it'll be on your left, and the part that hasn't been worked yet will be on the right. So not to cause any confusion there. So and make a stitch. Where'd my stitch go? Oh, there it is. All right, make a stitch and then turn. Okay, so now here's where I'm going to show you that you're going to be going into. See this dash here? That's considered your bottom. And so, and that's twisted a little bit. And so you want to go in through the top. Bottom, top. But you want to make sure that you don't go in the one where your stitch is in. So you will go to the next one, which would be this one. Remember, keep the same consistency, just like as you were with the chain. Push over and up you go. Go to the next stitch, push down, over, and pull up. And you just do that for however many that you want in your panel. Just go through the top stitch. That's the simplicity stitch. Push over, pull up, push over, pull up, push over, pull up, push over, pull up, and I'm at the end of my row. So I'm going to pull that out just so I can stop for a minute. Now, that's just that simple. So here's a piece, okay? And so I think this was 4 rows, 3 or 4 rows. And so as you can see this line here? See this line? And then this line. So if you want to cut, say, a buttonhole, you would cut in between here, which is what I did. Deep, 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 deep. How cool is that? But you can get books on how to use this tool. There is another one that came out, and this was patented in 1964. Oh, hell. So I'm demonstrating how to use, this is a vintage antique from 1966 Ktel knitter. It's also a looper. So there's not that many of these around, but there wasn't there was another one that was basically a copycat of this called the Grant. And it's basically the same thing. It's just a little bit different. Looks a little bit different, but it's exactly the same thing. I guess her patent ran out, and so then other companies started picking it up. And then there's another one that's a modern one called the Easy Looper. And it's a little bit different, but it's the same concept. And so as far as getting your hands on one of these, there's not that many out there, but there are some. You just have to look. And but you can get probably the more modern one called Easy Looper. And I've seen one lady, she actually made her own, like homemade. But as far as the instruction books, there's many stitches. Just like crochet, there's lots and lots of stitches. Like knitting, there's lots and lots of stitches. Well, there's a lot of stitches just for this tool. And so learning all those stitches would be, something you'd have to like invest in a pattern book, because there's no tutorials on YouTube. I found like maybe 2 people that made videos about this tool. And so at any rate, I'm going to demonstrate cutting this. It's not that hard. So, but the cool thing I want people to see is, like, if you cut in between these 2 rows. So I'm going to cut. Now, when you cut, you'll have some little straggles that you have to pull out, but you cut in between the rows, just like that. I just made a little cut. And then you pull these little stragglers out, right? And then you just pull them out. That's just the pieces that you cut, basically. And then you have this buttonhole. You have this buttonhole. Any little stragglers, just pull it out. Ta-da! Now I have 2 little buttonholes. Isn't that cute? That's so cool. So I will, when, practice doing the chain, working how to get the consistency. It's not that hard. And so I got it on eBay, and it is an original from 1960s. It's an antique. Woohoo! You all have a good one. I will see you soon. Check out my videos, okay?